Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've been joined by someone doing amazing work for the it's doing God's work among the children's work across the country. One and only Lisa, a speech therapist with over a decade, as well a founder, CEO of non-profit organization Toto Ongea, advocate of children's rights. Welcome to Baze Radio to see all the KE. Lisa Muthoni, how's your whole day? How's your Good Friday?
My day is going good so far. I can't complain. Yeah.
How is it going?
Which part of everything do you want to know?
Everything is fine as well?
Yes, it is.
Amazing. Now, tell us about Toto Ongea.
Toto Ongea is an organization where I offer speech therapy services. And basically this involves speech assessments and diagnosis of the different types of speech disorders that we have, and then coming up with a management plan. And the plan helps us to be able to have targets that are set and carry out our speech sessions. Toto Ongea mainly focuses on conveniency. This is because while I was employed in hospitals, the one thing I learned parents are struggling with is having to get an off day to bring their child to speech therapy. It's a bit inconveniencing for them. So I was like, how can we make this easier? So I thought of Toto Ongea, and I thought that I should do the sessions in their homes and in schools.
As well, we do see you in the streets.
Yes.
What's good in the streets?
It's good in the streets, man. I have Streets Ni Home. Streets Ni Home is amazing. That pretty babe that is always walking with quote-unquote a chokora. Always. And I love these people. They are amazing. They have deep stories that they always just want someone to listen to their stories. And I will always offer that. And I'll also always, if I have something, I'll always give them, I'll always buy them food. And so far, I am loving it.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
April is a spiritual month.
Yeah.
It's a month whereby we celebrate, we advocate for child abuse prevention. It's a child abuse prevention month. Why is it so important? Why is the month so important?
This month has a lot. Yes, it's Child Abuse Awareness Month. It's also Autism Awareness Month. Those two combined in the same month make April my favorite month, because this targets Streets Ni Home and also targets Toto Ongea. That way I'm able to do both and still stand for myself and what I love doing in the community. Yeah.
Why? We're coming back with more in the next few, but for now I've got Slain by Sign Crashes, a motorist featuring KC right here on Baze Radio to see all the KE. Keep it locked on Baze. King Angalia right now playing on Baze Radio to see all the KE. Kithan featuring Wanavukali, 17 minutes past 11 a.m. It's Child Abuse Prevention Month. April, and we are celebrating the child in the society. Now in studio, I've been joined by a lovely lady, a child's right advocate as well, a CEO, non-profit organization Toto Ongea, and a specialist when it comes to a speech therapist. Lisa, you're doing great. Now I'm so happy for you, and we're here to celebrate you as well. But I want to hear from you. What are some of the most common cases?
There's some of the most common cases we have that are rising crazy at the moment is autism and speech delay.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. In terms of percentage, how in terms of numbers and percentage, at what percentage are we right now?
I'd say in every 10, there is about 5.
Every 10 of?
Kids. Like in a neighborhood where there are 10 kids, there is about 5 that are either in the spectrum or delayed.
Delayed.
Yeah.
I know as a parent, because we have siblings, we have neighbors, it's very hard from our end to identify and establish even those signs. How is it that possible now for the parents moving forward? Because now from your study, from your case, 5 out of every 10. And most of the parents, we don't spend time in Nairobi, specifically Nairobians.
Yeah. So with where we are with our economy, it means the tougher the economy, the less available we are. because you're always chasing the money.
True.
Which it is needed, but back home, the child is the one who's suffering. Why? When you get home, you have very limited time to interact with your child. You're tired, you need to take a breather, which is all understandable. Now, during the day, you have left the nanny at home. She needs to clean, she needs to make sure that the kids are fed and all that. Most will tend to expose them to a lot of TVs, screens, a lot of electronics, and not in the positive way, and for extremely prolonged periods. And that's where the problem comes in. Because overexposure to the screens causes the speech delay. Why? Because they are having one-way communication. What do I mean one way? One way is where the child is only seeing the TV. No one else is around to do what the TV is saying, so that they can know that in real life, this form of communication, these actions also go as well. So if they are watching things like the nursery rhymes, the head, shoulders, knees and toes, they would not know how to point and what to say, because the TV is the only one that's talking. And we all know that kids are really good at imitating. So if they watch the TV and you come home and you do the head, shoulders, knees and toes as well, it's highly, they'll be likely to understand the body parts better, because they can see you as the parents doing it with them as well. But if they're just doing it from the TV and it ends there, they'll be delayed, because by the time you're catching on and getting the break as a parent to do the head, shoulders, knees and toes, ashatoka, that stage of doing that, and they're probably in the next developmental stage of speech. So you already delayed a few months. By the time you're trying to catch up with the previous month, you another 2-3 steps ahead. Yes. So that's how it always goes.
So what is the stage for a child to start now, speaking? What is the right time?
There's no right time. They're all steps. But so the steps all go from cooing. That's when the child is small. There's the cooing, there's the babbling, and then there's the simple one words, the mama, baba. Those are really important. The cooing is also very important, because this means they can hear and understand the sounds. So they're also imitating you. The babbling is also them trying to say the mamas and babas. Then eventually the mama, baba comes from the babbling that they did. Then from there they start following one word commands. That's kuja, come, no, yes, that.
Oh.
Yes. But fully a child should be speaking. By 2, they should have 1, 2, 3 words that they're able to say clearly, that everyone can understand fully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you've heard it from Lisa, speech therapist right now. I've got Haiwani by Nyashinsky. Keep it locked on Baze Radio to CODKE. We're coming with more in the next. Mortala Aziz Iron featuring Alien right here on Baze Radio to CODKE. Remember, it's Child Abuse Prevention Month. I'm being joined by a specialist CEO, non-profit organization as well, speech specialist. Now, Lisa.
Yes.
April is the Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Why is the awareness so important, especially in Kenya?
It's important because I don't know how to put this across. For me, it's really important because our children are the future. They always will be, now and forever. It's important to cater and provide for them in whatever ways, as the parent, you're capable of. And the moment you know you're not capable of it and are not looking for the right resources or the right people to help you provide for this child, I have a problem there. In the few times I have done the Streets Ni Home campaign, and we're out in the streets, every time you listen to someone, to the kids talking, it's always a case of, my dad got remarried, my mom got remarried. Those are always the cases where the children suffer the most. This is because we as a country really do not take to heart and with a lot of consideration what our children want and what they feel. Because in a case where you're remarrying, yes, it's about you and it's what you'd want, and that's how it should be, yes. But after that, go back to your kids, get to know, how is so and so treating you? Do you feel like they're a good fit? Because the emotional care is also part of their basic needs. They need to be catered for in that department as well. When you don't, that's where you find the street kids, mtu ametoroka home. Why? It's not normal for someone not to want to be at home. This is where you're supposed to get the most love. This is where you're supposed to be provided for. But it's better for you to be out in the streets or for you to be somewhere else that's not home, because you did not go back to your children and check in with them, ask them. And don't start when they're old, just start when they're younger, so that it can be a habit of them knowing that I can talk to mom, or I can talk to dad, or I can talk to uncle and auntie about this and how I'm feeling. And it will be taken into consideration, and I'll be talked through the whole process of what I'm feeling and what to do the next time I'm feeling this.
From your experience with over than a decade, you mentioned only two the cases of someone remarrying or marrying afresh. What is the role of professionals like you now when it comes to child abuse and fighting child abuse in the society?
My role, I'd say I'm privileged enough to be doing the non-organization profit, the Streets Ni Home, and also being a speech therapist, because they blend so perfectly. When it comes to Toto Ongea, I'm able to educate our parents and our caregivers and our guardians of the few things you can do to ensure that the child is catered for and they do not feel neglected. And when it comes to Streets Ni Home, I'm able to talk to the right people. If I'm able to reach to them, I'm able to talk to the right people to help us put the kids in the right places and just direct them in the right place. Because you will talk to also the older kids, street kids, and then they'll tell you, Akilisa, job tu ndio itaniokolea. And I'm like, what can I do? Who can I call? You see, it's simple things as that. It's simple things like I've talked to a watchman and he knows of a position of they need someone who's going to clean. That's just all that it takes. So my role is always talking to everyone, just to have to listen to them and make sure that they have this position in mind, that in case of anything, someone tells me they need the job, I do not care what level it is. That is still a start, and that is what I'm willing to give.
Umesikia kutoka kwake Lisa, street therapist, nazungumza issues ambao wamekuwa kifanya kwa ground, as well as successful stories. We're going to hear from Lisa in the next few. But for now, I've got Decide by one and only Njariah. Keep it locked on Baze Radio .co.ke for more. Welcome back. That was Oriti, means by in the Luo. Cut to change Winyo Ansuraja earlier on Baze Radio .co.ke. Just a reminder, it's Autism Acceptance Month. April is a month whereby Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month, where we dedicate to raise awareness about autism spectrum disorder and promoting acceptance of people with autism. And right now, if you're tuning in right now, I'm being joined by Lisa, specialist when it comes to speech and child advocacy. Now, Lisa.
Yes.
With autism, we know some of our family members, have children that have autism spectrum.
Yeah.
And are they likely to face, abuse, child abuse as well? What kind of abuse are they facing? Maybe if they have faced before, and how many cases have you handled? And do you have any successful story in regards to these cases of abuse?
Yes. Kids with ASD, which is autism, do face abuse, and not the typical abuse we all know, which is the sexual abuse, which could also happen. But they also face neglect, which I consider as child abuse. Neglect because kids in the spectrum have a lot of sensory issues, a lot of food preferences. So in a household where we have not accepted as a parent that my child is in the spectrum, you will tend to just feed them that one specific type of food. And having a lot of sensory, the texture of food in their mouth might not be what they want to feel in the mouth. So you will find they're not eating, they've lost weight. Losing weight in kids also comes with a lot of being sick, you see. So you're making a lot of hospital trips. if you just educate yourself a little bit, or just seek or accept, or even if you're not accepting, just ask, inquire what could be some of the things, what's making my child not eat. Explain how they are behaving. This is information you could get online. This is information, if you go to hospital, it could be given to you. So that process of not accepting, I find it as child abuse, because the longer you take to accept, the longer it will take to help your child, and the longer they stay in that zone of being helpless and feeling like they are being neglected. Yes. You've also asked if I've had any cases of ASD that were corrected and that were successful. Yes. With the parents who are like ready, they're like, okay, this is what my kid has, let's find a solution. The ones who are quick to accept, and they come, like, if they have the speech delay, which often comes with ASD, you will find we will correct them and we will eliminate some of the characters very fast. We will get them to be verbal from non-verbal. We will correct things like eye contact. We'll figure out their sensories. We'll figure out the things that they like to eat. This means that this child will gain their weight. They will be healthy. They will be social, and they'll be verbal.
Okay.
And many cases now that parents are starting to get on the trend of acceptance, you will find that most of them have come with that beautiful mindset of, I'll do everything to help my child.
From your experience, can you tell me, in regards to prevention and protection, how can we create a safer environment for our children in school and home?
For me, one would be the parents to limit the screen time. Respectfully, dear parents, your children do not deserve a laptop or an iPad or this or that. It's just unrealistic. For their development, it is. You also deserve a very good nanny. You honestly do. And you will deserve a good nanny. Why? Because while you're outside there working and grinding, you don't need to sit down and also think, oh, what if ako kwa TV sana? What if they're not being fed enough and the likes. So as parents, just research, do a little bit of research. Google the symptoms you see they have. Google the symptoms you can see. How are they behaving? Those are things, if you Google, it will bring you some few things that you could try out. Ask around. The information is always online. Even on my page, Toto Ongea, on Instagram and TikTok, I'm always posting a few things you could do, a few activities, DIY, that you can do with your kids, just to ensure when the nanny is busy putting the house together, your kiddo is also doing some activities that will help them get their speech, have eye contact and concentration, which is a package that we all need.
Wow. Well said by Lisa. Up next for you, Omoro Chunya, Udele Sari, Africa, Coastal Joan. Keep it locked on Baze Radio to see all the KE. Money Lover right here on Baze Radio to see all the KE. That was Sauti Soul earlier on Baze Radio to see all the KE. I've got less than 9 minutes to wind up this show. Remember, it's Friday, Good Friday, ukipenda Holy Friday. Na ndani ya studio niko na none other than Streets especially CEO. Mwenyewe Lisa mrembo na kazi. Yani huyu alisema atafanya kazi, sio kama wale wengine. Now Lisa, tell me, how does stigma affect children with autism?
Pardon?
How does stigma affect children with autism?
It affects them because that is just a lot of ignorance we have. It's something that is really rising, and lots of us will just still stick to the narrative of kuna kasoro na mtoto, there's amerogwa, all those hula balloons, aende ombewe, mpeleke kanisani. We are past that now. We are honestly past that. Use ChatGPT. Check out the characters that you can see with your kid, and you will be given an answer. On top of that, we have a lot of parents, because they have not figured out their child, they will tend to keep their child in the house 24/7. Like, it does not help if they're not being exposed. Expose your child to different environments and different people, and they will tend to get the language. You will also be told something by someone, because there's always a parent who's a bit more informed than you. So they will know Atasema, mine was like this is what I did. Talk to so and so. That is information that if the stigma was not there and if you did not just believe on putting your child inside the house all through, you'd have gotten help. So I feel like that needs to end, and just as a society, we should now be more open to different things. Yeah.
Talking about society, what do you feel like we should do in support to those children affected with autism?
I honestly feel, for example, I feel schools should now accept that there are kids who will come and want to learn in your institution and they have ASD or they're speech delayed. That does not mean that they're not qualified to go to the next class, because what I've seen in most schools, the child tends to stay in that class over, and 3 years you're still in the same class. It does not help. Take them to the next class, because their method of absorbing information is different from the normal learner, and that is okay. Institutions are so structured in the way that they want to teach that now that we need to rearrange everything. Be inclusive, be accommodative of all that. The other thing is, I feel like other institutions, for example, salons, barbershops, supermarkets, play areas should now include ASD children. Why? You'll find very many places have a lot of loud noises, and some of the kids with ASD have sensory issues. So utapata hataki texture ya nyasi, hataki a lot of loud noises. So have a playground where all these things are there. For example, you could have mats on the floor instead of the grasses. That means that child who has sensitivity on the feet is able to still walk from where the parent is sitting all the way to the swing or the slide, because they do want to be involved. In salons, have small chairs, have a small stool, have a TV where they can watch something that is also not high, not loud, and either not something that they cannot listen to. Those are things that they should do. And I do have a few places that I know have that. For example, there's a salon by a lady that's my friend called Diana Naure Atara. Yes, it's in Kilimani. She has really embraced that, and you should see the way she does it. So if more people had the idea and the mental capacity to just be more accommodative, that would work perfectly. The autistic children would come out of the comfort zones and they would flourish. They honestly would flourish, and not be put in a kakona where we ukona he now huwezi fanya like everybody else. Yes, because truth be told, these kids are really, really smart. Yeah. So if we tap into that, we'll be able to honestly uncover a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Where can people support you, reach you out?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Toto Ongea, both TikTok and Instagram. You can also find me on Instagram as Kituto Muthoni. Yeah.
That was one and only Elisa, street specialist, as well CEO, founder, non-profit organization, Toto Ongea. Thank you so much for your time. Wishing you all the best. I know you're in a hurry. You have some plans to, attend to, but that was one and only. We're still advocating for a Child Abuse Prevention Month as well. We're still celebrating its Autism Awareness Acceptance Month as well.
Yes, it is.
Keep it locked on Baze Radio to CO. I've got Panda Basi Mvoa as well. Moon Amor, Gnasha Travis taking us to the top of the hour. Coming back with more in the next few.
This is Baze Radio.
We are 254 to the core.